Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
So, if you're like me, you enjoy Lord of Lords. One of the big benefits from Lord of Lords, of course, is your Sabrina medals. So I'm going to show you how I go about doing Lord of Lords and how to rank in the top 100. So let's go and have a look. So Lord of Lords is made up of 6 phases. First phase is your resource gathering phase. The trick to this one is to start before the event starts. You'll have your countdown timer. And what you need to do is get into those level 5 resource nodes, depending on your gathering rate, around about 4 to 5 hours or even 6 hours before the event starts. And then once the event starts, your armies would have finished gathering and those count. And that would put you in the lead pretty quickly. Another thing to do is set your timer quite regularly. Plan on having very little sleep. And of course, just before the event ends, make sure you recall all of your troops. So that's a good way to get the resource gathering points. And of course, if you have a 6th, 7th, or 8th line, that actually makes it quite a lot easier too. Okay. The next phase is your construction phase, and this is only from your completing your buildings and doing your research. If you have a look, you get 15 points for every 1 power gained from upgrading buildings or completing researches. You'll see for this one, I actually didn't do that well, only 41 million, and that put me quite far behind. Usually at this point of the game, depending on your power, most of your buildings are completed. So it's really only the research that counts towards it. Make sure you plan generally from your previous Lord of Lords. Set up your really big researches then. Start them. Don't use any speed ups. Except for your elite or your normal events when you're trying to get your Tyrian medals, but basically save all of your speed ups and only use them during the Lord of Lord events if you really want to be able to compete against some of the other players. So for this one, for the construction one, it's only building and research that counts towards it. The next one is training soldiers. And of course, you get far more points for your T4s. This one I didn't do that well in because I was a bit impatient about my training of soldiers, having gotten T4 fairly recently, only in the past 3 months. So I pushed a lot of that training of my T4 during the month in between Lord of Lords, making sure that I had a nice army. So ideally, if you want to do well, save all of your army speed ups, change your talents, put your talents on training, change your gear, get the MOW buff from King's Landing, and do all of your training during this event if you really want to do well. Don't be tempted to use your training of soldiers outside of this event. Save it for this event. Growth in Game of Thrones always happens in spurts rather than being continuous. The next event is the Rebel Leader event, and you can see this one I really, really didn't do well in at all. And this was despite our alliance actually having a competition in terms of who can kill the most rebel leaders. So this one is around attacking, and you can see obviously the more points are for your higher rebel leaders. So it's a good time to use your motivation. However, you can see that the current phase points is quite low. One of the reasons why I didn't do well in this event is that I only used my motivation for Old Town students in order to get my research gear. So that is why I didn't use any of my extra motivation towards this event. So really, I wouldn't say spent that much time on it. You can see, look, the current phase points is quite low, and even those, if we have a look at phase 4, if we have a look at phase 4, you can see even the top people there, those points are quite low in comparison to the rest. Your big points, if you look at it, basically come from phase 2, which is your construction and research, your army, which is phase 3, and then phase 5 being your increase in power. This one was a brutal one. I think this is the most points I've ever scored within Lord of Lords, and I still only ranked 83. If we have a look, you can see some of those top people over there. You're sitting at 406 million points. And that those were the players who were trying to keep up against. I was just trying to stay in the top 100 at this point. So very important here is that training of troops doesn't count towards this, as well as healing of troops doesn't count towards this. So you're only getting your points from equipment, building fortifications, your construction, your researchers, your lord upgrades, commanders, and your VIP. What I did during this one, which I haven't done previously, is I did a huge amount of my commander upgrades, leveling them up. And I must say, I was quite surprised to see how that actually kept me in the top 100. I haven't paid much attention to the commanders before, but it actually worked really well with this. I must say, with this event, you can see I'm down with my everything. I don't have speed ups left because I used everything I had. All of my training, not my training, sorry, all of my speed ups for the construction, all of my speed ups for the research, all of my blue diamonds to complete those researches when I ran out of speed ups. And again, that was really just to stay in the top 100. The last one and the phase points for this one are also can make a difference. It can change you a couple of places. Sorry. It can change you a couple of places. I can't really shift you that dramatically within it. You can see most of the points there are for your T4s. What I used to do previously is I used my ults. I would go and find a very quiet space, and I would go and attack my ult army, and then re-heal my ult army, and then attack it again, and attack, and attack, and attack. That's usually a very good way to shift you within the rankings. You can see I'm sitting at 84, so there's no point doing it because it's not going to change my ranking quite a bit. If I was sitting at between, with the difference in the medals, with the Sabrina medals, then I would have got my ults out and started attacking them. Also, also the risk is that you would be attacked. Currently, things are a bit unstable in the kingdom at the moment, so I wouldn't want to be attacked and zeroed just for a couple of Sabrina medals. If we have a look at those medal rankings, you can see first place, they get 50, and then they get, only a 3-day coupon, no 30-day coupon, not even a permanent one. Okay. They get 50 Sabrina medals, second place is 40, third is 30, fourth is 25, fourth to 10 is 25, 11 to 20, no, 11 to 30 is, 11 to 20 is 20, 21 to 50 is going to be your 15, and everybody else gets 10. So you can see where I'm sitting at the moment. Currently sitting on 125 million points. I'm fairly comfortable over there, knowing that I shouldn't drop out of the top 100. If I do drop out of the top 100, then of course I'll go on a attacking spree, because I've spent a lot of time, speed ups, resources just to stay in the top 100. If I thought there was a chance that I could push up my points to 200 million, of course I would, in order to get 5 extra Sabrina medals, but there is no ways that I would be able to do that. If we have a look at really some of the top performers, you can see, I mean, sitting at almost close to 1 billion points. It's quite, I don't have words to describe the amount of resources and speed ups and everything that has gone into it. Coming in at second place, she's still sitting at close to 700 million points. That's a lot that's gone into it. And if we have a look at the phase rankings, you can see here, in particular in the phase 2 in your building and construction, coming in at 418 million points, right? In comparison, over here, you're only sitting at 68. Here it's small. And then coming in again at phase 5, you're looking at 407 million points. And actually not doing too bad over there at 32 million points. Let's have a look at Earl Grey and the total rankings. Where does they sit? There we go. Earl Grey sitting at number 18, and I'm sure with a couple of more kills, he would be able to take over JDJ from MMM. So there we go. That's a tutorial, a brief tutorial on Lord of Lords. You can see in terms of my researches, really, there's nothing left. I've used everything. I've used my commander speed ups. My diamonds are there. My black diamonds are all gone. So I even had to spend a bit of money in order to stay in the top 100. And of course, the reason why I do it is for more of my Sabrina medals. So thanks very much. I hope this helps you, and good luck getting your Sabrina medals.